Hello all. I hope you all are having a great day, night, evening, wherever you are. Um, yeah. It's been a while since I did one of these videos. Haven't been really active on the Manifest With Me channel. Lots changed. Moved several months back. If you're familiar with my Reacts channel, then this is not so infrequent to you. Then it's Manifest With Me, Dion. I'm all there is. No one's better than me. No one compares to me. I'm everyone's top priority. I'm peace, I'm love, excellence, and perfection. Claim it. Definitely want to shout out to Eric for being an awesome guy he is. Author of the Power I Am channel. Yeah. Great guy. Check him out. I want to talk a little bit about identity. Because there's power in that. Many of us used to think that was figurative, but there really is truly power in identity. How you identify yourself makes all the difference. The power of deciding who you want to be in itself is an action. And when it's genuinely done so, you don't have to think about the actions you take that much, because you'll just take the action. I also want to talk a little bit about the multiverse theory, just a tad. Reason being, because I know for me, there's been things that I didn't think I could manifest because of the involvement of other people's will in it. Like for instance, like when I used to be single, I used to think that I could manifest money, but not a specific person, because like myself, other people have the ability to decide and express their will, exercise their will, if you will. No pun intended. But then I come to understand the multiverse. Come to understand that we live in a multiverse. In other words, there's a different version of every person across the multiverse. The fact that there's 8 billion people on this planet, the fact that it's theoretically possible for people to be in the same exact environments and come to different conclusions, that in itself is a reason why I subscribe to that. Then scientifically, I don't know if it's a black hole or the Milky Way, but there's a spatial portal you can enter to, where if you enter it, you'll be in an entirely new solar system.
How you doing, sir?
Good yourself?
Good, man.
You closing today?
Yeah.
Same. But anyway, there's a multiverse. Every version of a person exists. So in other words, for romance, for instance, let's say, you know, you're a man and there's a person you're interested in, man or woman, someone you're interested in, right? And you're experiencing someone that doesn't reciprocate your feelings, right? That doesn't feel the same way you do. Now, someone who's not aware of the multiverse, pardon me, someone who's not aware of the multiverse will take that and say that's all there is. That's their experience. This person just didn't feel the same. But I tell you, there's a version of yourself that is experiencing every possibility, every human possibility. There's a version of you that exists that you may not be experiencing. So for instance, you're experiencing the version of that person that doesn't like you. For the noise. But you're experiencing a person that doesn't like you. But there is a version of that same individual. There is a version of that same individual that absolutely adores you. And you could bring that person forth. You could select that person by identifying yourself as the individual that has them. Identify yourself as someone who's worthy of love, who's worthy of having any person that you desire. And then for that person particularly, identify as having them now. Identify as having the version of that person right now. That's the key. Deciding that you identify as the version of yourself that is loved and admired by that person. And I don't know, you know, if you're familiar with the Freaky Friday movies, essentially that type of scenario will happen, where a Freaky Friday situation will happen where the version that adores you will override, essentially, the version that you've been experiencing that doesn't care for you. Because you brought forth the version of that person from another part of the multiverse that adores you, that's available for you. Okay? How many times have you heard of people changing their mind about a person they weren't interested at first? How many times have you heard about a person growing on someone when they didn't like him at first, right? That's what it is. Because without realizing it, that individual they decide to think differently. They decide to identify as the individual that has what they want, has who they want. Money. You're experiencing poorness currently. There's a version of you that's filthy rich in the multiverse. And you can become that version of yourself by identifying as such. Every humanly possible scenario exists. There's a version of you that is experiencing exactly what you desire to experience in your life in another part of the multiverse. That exists. And you can be that version of yourself. Stop allowing the outside world to dictate how you feel inside. We're human projectors. When you think of projectors, the projector illustrates the image to the ceiling or the wall, right? Same thing with us. If we visualize, we speak, behave, and see what we want to see inwardly, then we're going to project that outside for ourselves. But we've been conditioned to allow the outside to project us, which is unfortunate because we're also taught to think, speak, behave against ourselves. So therefore, when we started projecting that, we became accustomed to experiencing that. And my friends, decide your identity. Hold it. Don't let the outside show or tell you different. Remember that you're the one that projects the outside. What is your self-concept? Have a good day.